Okay, so you want to know about sex offenders. First of all, I'm going to tell you something. There's 4 ways you can die. Do it yourself and have someone do it for you. You can be murdered. You can just die naturally. I'm expecting at any moment I'm going to be going one of 2 ways. No, not here. Not right now, but so I don't think I'm going to do anything. But I am going to be going one of 2 ways. I'm not telling you which ways. But I do have something I want to tell you. I don't know if you cheer. This is my first video doing this. I always, I'm not a good narrator, good storyteller. I'm just going to tell it like it is. Yeah, I started smoking weed about 2-3 years ago because I was in so much pain from the drunk driver pulling out in front of me, basically crippling me, and I hardly move. I've been on all these opioids for years. The doctor keeps shoving down my throat. And I got off them. Best thing I ever did. Myself. I was taking like 20 of them a day. They don't get rid of the pain. You just, in your mind, they put your mind in a fog. It does not get rid of the pain at all. At least the marijuana temporarily will get rid of the pain. Even if it's 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. And it comes and goes every couple of minutes. At least that's something. If you're in chronic pain, I feel sorry. But anyway, this isn't about that. You just want to know here about sex offenders. You know what side I'm on or what I'm going to say about it. Actually, I'm on neither side. Just want to do some education for both sides. People on the one side say, hang the MFers, shoot them, everything. And if somebody murders a sex offender, what's pay for his lawyer? Get a GoFundMe, hooray. Well, let me tell you something. I've been one for like 30 years now. And do you want to know why? I'm going to tell you what it feels like to live like this. And I'm going to tell you what happened then. This isn't no sob story. This is the true facts. Okay? So you or your loved one could have to go through one of these laws. We stick around until I tell you what happened to me, how I got on this list. Okay? I've been afraid for all these years to say a damn fucking word. Now one of 2 things is going to happen at any moment. I don't care. I'm speaking my mind and telling you the way it is. The way it is. And your son and daughter could be on this hit list too. And that's what I call it, a hit list. Because for 30 years, There's so many fucking special rules. 20 years ago, driving truck, just trying to make a living. Local cop says, hey, you need to, every city, state, county you go through, you got to stop and tell them. So that's ludicrous. Who's going to do that? Puts out a warrant for my arrest because it was after hurricanes, moved into a motel, left there to go to work, and planned when I come back to go back to that motel. But so I went to, was in the motel for a couple months. The Howard Johnson. And anyway, puts out a warrant for my arrest. Failure to update my home address and registration. I get arrested in South Dakota, lost that job, lost everything I had, my belongings. Got handcuffed, drove around the country in a van for probably 2 weeks. Got back here in Florida. I said, no bond, you can't get out. Get back in Florida. Go to jail. Next morning, they call my name. You're being released. Now, I have nothing, my very best friend lived down the road. And, and I got a hold of my very best friend. No apology, no nothing. Just state withdrew charges or didn't, whatever, null process, whatever they call it. I don't know. No explanation, no nothing. I get another job driving truck. So this bad job on my record because the company had to come get somebody to tow the truck and lost money on the freight I was hauling. A year later, same fucking thing happens in another state. I know a bunch of you are out there cheering, hey, all right. And when I started driving truck, I was already on the hit list probably 4 or 5 years. At that point, there's 4 or 5 years. There's another 6, 7 years. And after my court date, I'm talking about. I'm just setting a starting time after my court date. And there's a reason I want you to remember how many years. The same thing happens to me the second time. Get hold around. I get I was in Connecticut when it happened. This time was in Bridgeport jail. I don't know how long. I don't know. Anyway, the transport team, this time here, first time it was a couple, an older couple that was hauling us around. I mean, like, I mean, they were very nice people. They just were they were just making money, didn't want no trouble, and for the most part, the people they hauled around, really nobody gave them trouble. I mean, they had my handcuffs so loose, transported across the country. In the back of the van, I was taking them off. They had no idea. They weren't even on me, really. And the shackles, they wouldn't. They said, "Oh, they're too tight for you. We ain't got to put them on." I could have taken off at any time, but I didn't. But the second time, you're on this bus, like a Greyhound bus. They took me from Connecticut to Kentucky. There's some jail, I guess this transport company runs out in Kentucky. And they get, I guess, all around the country, they go and grab people for whatever and take them there. They rent an area, they call pods or wing out in a jail in Kentucky. And they use that as their hub center. So they bring everybody there. And then they have when these regular, like big Greyhound or big school buses. And there's a guy in the back with a shotgun, two people up front, shotgun, it's caged, you're in a big wire, yeah. And they put handcuffs on you. I mean, they treat you like a fucking worse than an animal. I know a bunch of you people are going to say, hey, hooray. I don't care. I'm just telling you the way it is. You want to know about sex offenders? This is the way it is. This is part of it. And the handcuffs has a box on, something like this here, that goes around it, and the hard part of the handcuffs here and here, so you can't take that handcuff and turn it at all. They call it a black box or something like that. That's how they had everybody. Riding you around hours upon hours nonstop on this bus. With everyone would drive, all the people on the bus. They just take turns. And they'd stop at jail and pick people up, but they were just picking more people up at a time. And for everywhere. Whereas the people the first time, they were just, I guess, going around picking people up for Florida. Because that's the state this shit originally happened in. And you don't even know what happened yet. I know a bunch of you want me dead already. Don't worry, it's probably going to happen very soon. My health is really bad. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen soon. That's how they're feeling. My body's giving up. These people win. But anyway, transport around the country like this. Now, remember, I could be your brother, your female, your sister. I could be your husband. I don't have a wig, so I can't be your wife. Oh, maybe if you have enough money. No. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I could be your uncle. I could be anybody that you want dead. Don't think it can't happen in your family. Just, you don't even know what happened. So anyway, they transport you to Kentucky. We're in Kentucky for a couple of days until they get the pod filled up. What they're doing is getting enough people to fill up a mini bus, like a bus half that size, to take to, I don't know if they take them to every state like that when they take them out of there, or if they take some of them out of there in the bigger buses. I imagine they do if they're going to start a new long trip on the bigger bus. They'll take somebody maybe to the furthest point they're going to go. I don't know. That would make sense to do it that way. I know with me, they put us in the Kentucky prison, in the jail. They can't put you in a prison because you're not convicted. And then they put us in a minibus when they had enough people going to Florida. And the bus ride was about the same way to Florida. And this is how you're treated. So anyway, I'm under no bond. This time here, I'm sitting in county jail for maybe a couple of days before my best friend here got a hold of my grandfather. And my grandfather called and sent them a check overnight for the bail. And that's how I got out. But I probably sat there maybe a week or so. And then shortly thereafter, the state dropped the charges again. This time here, it was for failure to update address on driver's license. Almost exactly a year apart. Same police department, except this cop here, I'm sorry, police officer for some of you, he wrote on a warrant, I did this, I was arrested for this, I was charged with this, I was guilty of this. He wrote a complete false narrative on this arrest warrant. And the reason I know was because I was going to be part of a suit that an organization was going to bring, and their attorney looked into my background. They knew about it. They knew about the one. I told them about it, and no problem. No, they knew about both of them. Yeah, I told them about both of them. I told them what it was. Well, she said she read that report on that second arrest, that fictional report on the warrant. I swear to God. There'll be some people that know my name if anybody wants to start looking into this, into that warrant, because that cop flat out lied. Look at the warrant, look at my record. That cop flat out lied on that warrant. Maybe that's why the state, I don't know. I had a public defender, they didn't even know. They made me come in and sign some paper. Oh yeah, I know the rules. These are the rules. I wasn't breaking no rules, but I just did it and that was it. I just signed this paper that I agree that I know the rules, and they throw out the charges. It didn't even go in front of the judge. The state threw out the charges. I always thought at that point only a judge can dismiss it. It didn't make it that far. This is the second time now I was arrested, lost another job, lost everything I had. How many more times can I go through this? Same police department, by the way. I know a bunch of people, yeah, they should have kept them there. Just hang on there with me. Like I said, I just had my medicine a little bit ago and got up the balls to do this. Should have did this a long time ago, really. But right now, I don't give a fuck anymore. I do have one thing for you to say, though. If you're a fucking hater and can't stay until the end of the story, you know, you deserve to rot. If you made it this far and can't stay, if you're a hater, and you stay, so then, I don't know how long it's going to be, but you stay and hear me out and hear the story, you can call me, say whatever names you want if that makes you feel good. All right? But remember the whole time that I could be your uncle, or this could happen to your uncle, it could happen to your brother, it could happen to your niece, any family member. What happened to me? And no, I'm not a baby raper. So anyway, so that's that second one. I get a job here and there, get another job, and then I get disabled because a drunk driver pulled out in front of me. after another 5 or 8 years. I was bedridden for like 2 years. I don't walk very well now. I haven't walked very well for a long time. I said I've been on opioids. I just got smart enough to quit them a couple years ago and got smart enough to figure, hey, try weed again. Yeah, I tried it when I was a kid, didn't really like it. Yeah, that put me to sleep. I didn't, this time here as an adult, I did it to try it, not to like get high, see how high you can get with a bunch of other kids. And this is the best medicine. Not only for my pain, but also from the anxiety and stress being on this fucking hit list has done to me over the last 30 years. But anyway, now back to the story time. Trying to think where I left off. Oh, the second job and then the drunk driver. Yeah, my memory's slowly going too. His second job. Drunk driver. Where do I go from here? After the drunk driver. After the drunk driver, bedridden, started up a little small business. I'm not going to say what business. And because of Chinese imports and stuff got so cheap and they're flooding the market with things and I can't do that no more. The business is almost done. It never was worth $1 million. People that were trying to sell you into it, making believe it was really good money and stuff. It always was hard to get work in it. I made myself look pretty good at it. I mean, I didn't do bad. I did a lot better than other people. I mean, I'm still fighting to make ends meet, though. Believe me, I'm not rich by no means. And then from that business, there was another business, sort of like the same machine, but completely different. Like comparing like a leather punch to a sewing machine, different, if you're talking sewing, just a different thing to do in the sewing and with that. It's a completely different line of business, but like an airplane and a helicopter, you need one to fly. Well, you need one to do this. And one's completely different from the other one. I'm not going to tell you the name of the second business. I did pretty good on that. Out of my little bedroom. I was able to manufacture sell a product, figure out how to sell a product for approximately overall 55% profit on Amazon out of a small bedroom in my home. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I did almost $100,000 last year. Actually, did it go over it or was it the year before? Right around there. And I'm a fucking idiot. If I can do it, you can do something. No matter what side, that goes for anybody. You got to think of something outside the box. So anyway, that brings us to what? About a total of 30 years? Where are these stories? Once a pedo, always a pedo. They never change. They don't learn. They always keep it up. Or maybe everybody ain't a pedo that they put on this hit list. Maybe some stupid shit happened because of these laws. Now, for all these 30 years, I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm worried if I did this, dotted the I. There's so much fucking stress on you because any moment, the way they have these laws, they're not a ticket or anything. Everything's a fucking felony. And here in Florida, they'll put you in prison for 5 fucking years. They call it civil laws. Oh, you got to get. Okay, I was just arrested again. Okay, this is the third time. This is the third fucking time. In what? How many fucking years? 20 years. Approximately 20 years. Third time I'm fucking wrongly arrested. 20 years because of these civil fucking things. Every time I sit in fucking jail and everything else, I ain't fucking happy again. I did nothing wrong. I can't get nobody to fucking help me. What happened here was a complete civil violation in my story. But let me tell you how I got on the fucking hit list first, before I tell you what happened. I know some of you have been wanting to know how I got on it. And I'll fucking tell you. Okay? Okay, used to go to Daytona Beach. Back then, there campfires on the beach and stuff, different gatherings. You know, it wasn't all fancy like it was now. You had that boardwalk, band shell, and that was it. There was no hotel at the end of it and all this shit. That's if you know anything about Daytona. Main Street was always dirty, filthy, you know, but the end of the boardwalk. And then they built, like the movie theater. I guess there's movie theaters there, and Bubba Gump was there right in back of the band shell. Then they built that. And then they built the hotel right next to it. I guess it's the Hard Rock now. But there was never no trouble when we go to campfire. You just go to campfire. I mean, you know, you could be a stranger and not nobody and welcome. Nobody's really causing trouble. And the police come, crack down everything. And we weren't breaking nothing, destroying nothing, you know. A beer or two, little campfires, get together and talk, have a good time. It's pretty nice. But anyway, got in contact with a person. And I asked the person, how old? Or are you so-and-so, whatever. I said, I don't know. The person said, yeah, I'm old enough. Had fake ID. I'm not going to blame nothing on the alcohol. When drinking, you know, this is all on me. I'm not blaming nothing on nothing. Okay? I tried. Because I know how I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is why I'm not going to go into much more. But I believe this person was of age. And what was age anyway? You know, when I first come to Florida, Pennsylvania was 16. Here it's 18. So if you go on vacation with your kids, you better tell them, if they're a teenager, you better tell them the age of consent in that fucking state, or they can be on the hit list too. And yeah, remember the hit list is to protect children? How many kids are on it? It was just in the paper the other day. Somebody wants a 4 or 6-year-old to go on it. A mother wants a 4 or 6-year-old on it because a boy touched a girl. Okay, so come on now. And they're very serious. I don't know if they're going to put the kid on it or not. They said, well, there needs to be some notification for the boy. They're making, the government has, everybody's saying, once a pervert, always a pervert. But they lump everybody fucking together. Okay? In Florida, if you're 18 or 21, whatever the age, you better, even if you ask for ID, even if you ask how old they are and they tell you, guess what? You say, okay, well, they told me, that's good enough. They show me their ID, that's good enough. They're in the club drinking, that's good enough. They're in here, they got to be old enough. I got news for you. In Florida, if something happens and that person isn't old enough, you are not allowed to bring that up in court. No fucking way. Okay, well, they showed me fake ID. I got a picture of it. You're not allowed to bring that up either. It's right in the fucking law. Now, how is that fair? That's why I wanted to tell you, I knew what I was doing when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right there. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say 14, 15 because I wasn't doing nothing at that age. 16, 17. Okay? So anyway, I'm told, old enough, fake. The mother asked, where were you? Mother didn't believe the excuse. Mother was an ex-FBI agent. They get a good lawyer. My dad comes down to see me. He has no money. But my dad, he just wanted to comfort me and try and see what he could do, anything for me. Maybe talk to people. No, it's 30 years ago. That was the last time I seen him. The only person I could ever count on. But yeah, come down here for vacation, better watch yourself. Because you cannot use that as an excuse that they showed fake ID, they were in the club drinking, they misrepresented their age. It's against the law for you to use that as a defense. If you don't believe me, look it the fuck up. Now, let me tell you what's going on more. So, the government lumps us all together, so they made a big hate group now, because a bunch of you motherfuckers hate me and want to kill me. You probably still do. Okay? And these fucking cops going around saying, once a pervert, always a pervert. They're fucking instigating it. They're all fucking instigating. Now they have a dog registry. They're going to do the same thing with them. They just find another hateful group. Now in Florida, I guess they're talking about anybody that's ever been arrested for anything, they got to go into the cops once a year. But let me tell you what I just got arrested for. Last year, when you get a renewal, it has on there you can pay here, but you have to pay by the end of your birthday month. Last year, and they send this to you, and I could either drive 20 miles to get my sticker, or pay $2 extra and have them send them to me. So I had them send them to me. Now, shouldn't have did that. Now, I've been on the hit list now for what, 30 years? Or very close to it? Never no trouble? So I renew them by mail. Did not get them. And when I got them, I put them on the vehicle. And here, you got to go into the state, every 6 months to give them all kinds of personal information. Then they have all these special laws that you're supposed to initial and knowledge and remember each one like the back of your hand. For 30 years. Because I cannot use, hey, fake ID, misrepresentation of age as a defense. And I'll get more into that. If you stuck around this long, I'll get more into that here shortly. My mind just sort of went blank on me again. I said you can't use that as a defense again. Yeah, I told you I'm losing my mind. Hold on. So anyway, 30 years or close to it. So I sent away, paid to have them mailed to me. Stayed home. I'm a homebody. Don't go anywhere. Too scared to. Not because I'm too scared of somebody seeing me or something like that. Just too scared I might do something wrong. All it takes is, when you're accused once, you can be innocent. But hang on there. I got to tell you some, apart from the beginning, you missed out on. Most of these won't give a fuck. You haters. I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to change your mind about us, but at least please open your mind up a little bit and listen. Because this really could happen to you, a loved one. There's honestly a very low recidivism rate for sex offenders. That's the truth. But your tax money is pouring millions and millions and millions of dollars funding all these computer programs, and all that. And who owns them? The companies, all the rich people, the billionaires. It's all about the money. You research the government's own, the federal government, not the state, recidivism rate. And if you see something like rearrest, look at what they were rearrested for. Was it something like this here? A person orders their license plate by the mail for their vehicle and trailer, two of them, that they don't even take on the road or do anything with. They get it 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. But here's the problem. They get it a week later. It don't matter. Here's the problem. It takes more than 2 days to get to the mail. But in this state here, you only have 48 hours to notify the sheriff's office. You would think, I don't know. So here I am arrested. And do you really want to know why I was arrested? The truth of it? And there's a video of this. Truth of it is, I just had a scam call. And people on the hit list like this do get scam calls. People pretending to be sheriff's office or state police or whoever, or the court, wanting money to say DNA sample or meet them somewhere or this or that. Police never call people if they're wanted or anything. I get a phone, the first business I told you about that's almost has no business, the phone rings. I get happy because I might get some money, whatever it is. And if it's a junk call, I hate it. I mean, it's really stressful. You're hoping to get a couple dollars and, hey, this credit card, you can get new credit card or whatever. I forget what that lady used to be about 6, 7 years ago. I used to call all the time. Then there used to be number one on Google. 30 junk calls a day just on that. Then my personal number I had for over 30 years. I'm in information overload. I mean, it's chaos. Sorry for going off track there. Oh, I gotta do some medicine. I'll be right back. I promise this story will probably be completely over with in next 10 to 15 minutes. So if you gotta go pee, go pee. Okay? So I'll be right back. All right? So I get this call on that business number. And somebody asked for me by my first and last name. And the reply to that was, who's calling? The person on the other end said, Detective so-and-so. And this is no shit, no lie. When I heard that name, first thing I thought of, oh boy, here we go again. He said he was detective and uses, I guess he actually has same last name or something close to it, because it sounded like the same last name of the sheriff. The sheriff has that name, not him, not a deputy. I'm like, no, what? So I thought this was, a bullshit call. Like I just had the week before. I got that recording on my phone, by the way. So I'm thinking it's a bullshit call. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Just listen to what happened. It's hilarious. I don't care what side you're on. This is stuff you can't make up. So I have to say what I got to say right now in the ways of saying it. So anyway, he's asked, what do you want? He goes, is this, he either says, is this, or he says, or he just says, I want to speak to, and then my name. I believe he said one of them two. And again, I repeated, what do you want? And he repeated the same thing again. And I stated, or, I thought, okay, what are you all talking about? Because I didn't know what was going on yet. And then I hear this, something about shoving a dildo somewhere. I shit you not. And there's a Ring doorbell out there with them saying it. But anyway, less than an hour later, there's several police here with red and blue flashing lights to arrest me. Failure to update license plates within 48 hours. They put the date that the state, I guess I ordered them online or something in there. And then the date I went in for my every 6 months. And I'm facing 10 years in prison. It broke absolutely no laws. 30 fucking years. Been arrested twice. This is the third time. If you're all a hater and say good, well, good to you too, and fuck you. You just better hope this don't ever happen to anybody because they will be isolated. Your only hope in the United States is go to Europe, one of the EU countries. That's the only hope. But you know what's funny is you got the pet dog registry that's getting more popular now. Florida's doing I guess if you ever been, they had always had some type of, supposedly had some type of felony registry all the time. But maybe they don't enforce it. So if you move here or visit here with a felony, you better go into the sheriff's office and tell them they can nail you for that. Come to visit Disney with a felony, past felony, I believe they can nail you for it. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure they can or they used to be able to. because there's a registry. I don't know how long you can be here before you got registered. But Florida's doing some other type of registry now. It has something to do with criminal. I think if you've ever been convicted of any felony, you got to register every year and tell them all kinds of information. So if it happens in Florida, it's going to happen in a couple more red states. It could happen in blue states too. But, you know, it's funny. Could be a lot of fucking people in registries in another 20, 30 years, man. And when you're in a hit list, they start with the most hated. And when you are in the hit list, you got a special set of rules you got to abide by, or they'll put you in a cage forever. I'm facing 10 years, one for each license plate. Tell me how the fuck that's fair. Okay, I shouldn't have went off track like that. Let me get back to the story. So, this real detective with the same last name as the sheriff, and this shit can only happen to me. You know, is told to shove a dildo up his ass. Less than an hour after that, sheriffs, for the lowest felony charge, drove 25 miles. 3 of them. And they got together that quick. Normal driving time's around 40 minutes, 45 minutes. After the time of the first call, there were 3 more calls. So anyway, they get here flashing lights for the lowest count felony of the third degree felony. Probably pretty unusual to be driving that fast and with flashing lights on for a warrant. For failure to register plates within 48 hours. Well, 2 warrants. When he got here, they took my phone. And I thought I was using an app. I said, no, I can't use it. Well, it's on here, you got to be able to use it. So they took my phone and said, I'm going to get a search warrant for it. Phone rang. Said, you want me to answer it? I said, yes. And they had me in handcuffs right outside my front door. Said, can I have my phone? So I'm not going to do anything with it. And the detective, I guess, Probably it had to be the detective that was calling on the phone said, well, you did threaten to stick a dick up my ass. And another officer that was writing back at me corrected him and said, no, he said dildo. Then walking me out to the police car, the officer made a statement like, you wouldn't have said that. Basically, none of this stuff would have happened. So I got out on bail. I'm under so much stress right now. It's ridiculous. Because the officer said they were going to put me in prison for life. I believe it. All because I thought it was a fake cop because of the scam calls, having the same last name as the sheriff. Hey, you can't make this up. I know a bunch of you haters will say good. Well, same thing to you as a little bit ago. Fuck you. I said, I don't care. I have nothing to lose anymore at this point. I should have spoken up a long, long time ago. The old people in the fucking hit list, you need to start speaking out and raising hell. This torture has to end. Now, hold on. Let me tell you what my what happened when I got arrested. When I got arrested like 30 years ago, 29, 8 years ago, 29, 30, something like that. My dad come down, which I was thankful. I think I said that. Maybe not. But yeah, my dad come down. Tried to help me what he could, couldn't really do much. He couldn't find me until almost his last day here, till he had to get back. Because my street address, they had two streets. I was like 40 miles away from the city that my mail was addressed to. And they have a same street name as mine in the city. And nobody knew. Nobody could help him find me. And then luckily the day before he left, he said, hey, there is another one out over here by that name. Probably somebody at the VFW. And I know he talked to people and was asking him who the best lawyer is. He couldn't help me money-wise with one. And they gave him two names, and I already was told the one name, and that's who I got. And it wasn't cheap. But it didn't matter for this era. When it was time to go to trial, okay, the so-called victim, I say so-called victim, didn't want to do it, didn't want to testify. said it wasn't my fault. Anyway, they offered me a sex offender probation for 3 years. No, 1 year house arrest, 2 years sex offender probation. Or yeah. And I'd be on this hit list for 5 years. And then, okay, I took the deal, or go to trial and face 35 years in prison. That was a choice I had to make within about 2 minutes to decide. What in the fuck would you do? You can't use that as a defense. You're fucked. Yes, this is real life. And I'm the bastard that you want put down, I should die, and all this shit. Well, fuck you too. Wake up, man. I'm telling you what these people are doing. You know, then they come after you for first. They got another. Don't think, hey, it's a sex offender crime. I'm alerting you what's going on. They have another registry now. Another one's coming. You got to stop this. People used to stick together, but not no more. People got to start sticking together again to fight this corruption. It's just the rich getting richer. Who do you think writes all these programs and keeps track of all these people? And there's a private prison company that houses all these things. And look how many politicians own stock in that private prison company, the Geo Group. Look at the relationship with them and some of the politicians. For-profit prisons. Come on now. Putting people from the United States in a for-profit prison and think they will be treated with decency. I was just in the fucking county prison, man, or in the county jail. I go in there, towards the end of the booking, they put me in this holding cell probably for an hour. Fucking ants crawling all over me. The fucking thing was filthy, trash laying everywhere. I was in there for 3 days. Never seen a one fucking mop. And this isn't an illegal jail. This is what they're doing to, you know, and you do realize most people in jail is going to get out one of these days. Why not treat them with human decency? No wonder it's fucked up. They took my phone. I had no phone. Nobody would help me try and find a phone number for nobody to even call to get me out. And this ain't sex offender jail. This is regular county jail. It could be, you know, some way, you know, a DUI and stuff. But now let's get the DUIs. Many of you had DUIs. But let's look at the facts between a sex offender, a so-called sex offender, which pretty popular term about the last 15, 20 years. It's a shame. It's a shaming thing. Or because the word sex makes headlines. It used to make a lot more headlines 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but the news and the cops use it so much, don't make, you know, it's not getting the headlines it used to. Back with that phone call. So after that, telling him to shove a dildo up his ass comment, I tried calling the sheriff's office. First tried calling the lady I got to check in with. No answer. Went to voicemail. I was very anxious. My heart's beating. Trying to double check. but I'm pretty damn well positive it was a fake call. Call back the sheriff's office number. Now, this is an emergency. I'm not calling the emergency number. Listen to all the menus, and it gives me all these choices. I think it was option 9. I pressed for other or operate, whatever. As soon as I pressed that button, the phone went beep, 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 beep. At this point, I'm panicking. I want to get a hold of somebody. Hang up, call the sheriff's office again. I got to listen to that whole damn record. Started listening to that recording. You got to listen to a bunch of it before you can press an option. This time here, I pressed option 7. I didn't know what it was for. I just pressed. But I do remember they said human resource or something like that, I believe. I said, look, I need help. I'm trying to find out this. And person, I forgot what they said, but completely unhelpful. I'm begging this person for help, and she was completely unhelpful. I mean, she was rude and very unhelpful. She didn't even know what I wanted. I needed help. And this was a human resource. And then like 40 minutes later, they're here banging on the door. Now, that's not First Amendment right. I don't know what is. But that's not what I was looking for in this. I wasn't looking for any of this to happen. But called around. The people are still hungry that may give a crap, maybe one or two. I called around a couple of attorneys. I don't have money. But I called around a couple of attorneys. I was able to talk to one civil one. Even send him the Ring doorbell of this stuff being said. Just worried about money. He said, well, he said, he's in the arrest. I didn't hide my name or anything from him. He said, you got to beat this criminal charge. Okay, no brainer. So basically, he's telling me, see, it's a violation, but it's just probably not worth money, millions or billions or however much money, so that nobody will touch it. Nobody will help me. Now there's a video of them pounding me and pounding me and pounding me. Oh, they'd all be jumping all over to help me. So I'm fucked. I'm too old and too in bad shape to roll the dice. My health is bad. It is what it is. Who knows what register they're going to keep going on. And by the way, still here this far. I wanted to say this earlier. I started to and forgot. You want to know the truth of the matter is, look at the recidivism rate of drunk drivers. If it's about protecting children, these so-called sex offender laws, and if you think these are civil, 5 years in prison, because they did not get notified within 48 hours of something I did not have in my possession. 5 years for each count. Because I keep a trailer tagged, I don't even take on the road at all. Won't even take around the block without a tag. Would most people put one on? No. Now they're only going to take it maybe around the small country block. And not a country block out in the West either. They're just going for miles and miles. Illinois. But let's look at some facts. Let's look at drunk drivers. If these laws are all about protecting the children, that's what they said when they started them. Then Supreme Court justice. Here's why you're fucked. Really, if you're on this hit list. Supreme Court justice said sex offender registry is no more than like just signing up for a shopping club or something similar to that, or a price club. Yeah, right. And every year they keep piling more stuff on. And they call it civil. And it's not taking away anybody's rights. Wait until it happens to you or a loved one. Like I said, they're doing dog registries or cat registry, abuse registries for pet. Florida's starting to, I don't know how many other registries are out there. What other states has registries? I'm sure there's more than one or two that has pet registries. So it's going to happen over time. So let's talk about DUI. How many government officials have driven drunk? How many general population driven drunk? That actually has a very high recidivism rate. Forget how high it is, but it's one of the highest out there. Now, how they inflate the sex offender rate is by taking stuff like this here that just happened to me. Okay. Oh, sex offender arrest or repeat violation or however they rank it. That's how someone will classify it and won't break it down that no, it's not a offense, nothing offense related, but they group it all together for the reason it is to keep it inflated. Do some research. But if it's all about protecting the children, I would think that DUI has injured more adults and children than any other criminal. Why isn't that taken seriously? Wouldn't you want to know if your child, about child safety, your child goes to school with the neighbor's kind enough to drive your kid to school, but you don't know that neighbor already had 2 or 3 DUIs, 2 or 3 years apart, 4 or 5. Research the recidivism rate. Who's the more danger? There ain't nobody hiding in bushes and shit. Look how many teachers and cops are fucking arrested for molesting kids. And when they do these online stings, let me tell you how they operate. Because most of you don't know. There's not all these people out there looking for kids online. There ain't no kids online. Fuck, I've been on hookup apps for fucking years. Not no more. Not in a long while, but still. Honestly, I don't touch them. One time I did. You know, there's no kids on there. You just don't see them. But police will go on there. On their profile, it might say 22, 23. They have to say they're at least 18 to get in or on. So they make up this profile. They'll get talking with somebody. And this could be your son now they're talking with. Or daughter, anybody, your husband, anybody. They say, oh, let's role play. You want to age play? Okay. Hey, I'm 14. Hi. And it's another age playing. One goes to the other house to meet up, or one sends a pornographic picture. And they always say under 16, but in reality, there's none on there. The reason they say it is because it's a higher fucking penalty. So are they only worried about protecting the younger children? They're trying to fill up prisons and all this shit. Research, please. They created a hateful group. They took a word that's fucking deemed that makes ears pop out, sex. Sex is normal. It happens in every country. No other country has that word sex like it's a demon fucking word. What other country has sex as a nasty word? I just don't get it. I mean, I do get it because, I would always hear it when I was younger and a kid too. But when they trap you into this shit, what point do you just get tired of it and have enough of it and can't deal with it no more? Okay, my heart was clogged up. I never had a cholesterol problem or nothing all my life. My heart was all clogged up from stress. Silent killer. My heart's pounding like anything now. I can't sleep. And fucking, I'll tell my story. So many people want to know about sex offenders. Well, here you go. I hope you're happy at the results. So not everybody's a fucking pervert or creep that you think, but the government has everybody fucking lumped together like they are. The government entraps people. Then they put them up in front of cameras. All these, especially there's one in Florida, I guess Polk County. That guy claims to be a Christian, but yet he marches these people he arrests up on camera in front of everybody. They're arrested. They're not convicted. But yet he's putting them up on town square, shaming the fuck out of them. And more cops are trying to copy his style now. Hell, one in Jacksonville said they should all be in jail or prison. He just made some crude fucking statement. So anyway, there's the life of a sex offender. I honestly hope life treats you better. Okay, sorry about the video being so long. This is actually not a life of matter. It was in a movie, yeah. I just was trying to see a little bit of humor in it, something to smile about. I did talk to a civil lawyer too, and another lawyer, and it's all about the money. Nobody helped me. If you would see the Ring doorbell, you know what I'm talking about. You'd see the police right there making the comments, and like if I never said that, you know, things would have been different. So ruin the rest of my life for that. Oh, take the rest of my life. I only have one more hope, and I'm going to reach out for one person. I never reached out to anybody before in my life for assistance like this. I'm going to reach out to one person, whether they can help, whether they know somebody or not. I don't know. I know in the past week, it's been going on for a week now. I slept maybe a total of 10 hours. My heart's pounding like anything. I already have a heart condition. So one way or another, I may not make it through this. I probably won't. I can't take the stress no more. I really can't. I wish I had moved over to Europe where I could be free. The guy over there that went over there from Florida, and they allowed him to stay over there. He became a pilot. He's now going for a train conducting thing. And there's a sex offender they were from Florida. They were going to lock up in whatever they call it, civil commitment center. That's what they call them. They lock people up for life because they may commit a crime in the future. But yet, it's one of the lowest recidivism rates there is. Yeah, I'm not getting into politics or anything else. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. I just want to make you aware of what's going on. So don't think everybody, just because they're on that hit list, is a pervert. Now, there are some perverts on there. And one or two, one baby raper is one too many. It's on there. But to go after everybody, not even knowing the reason why they were put on, I think there was a couple of years ago. I forget if they were put on or not. I know they were having sex on the beach at nighttime. I don't know what happened in that case. If they got put on or not. But yeah, if this story would be in a movie, you know, somebody telling a cop to shove a dildo up his ass and another cop correcting him, saying, no, it was his dick, when he said it back to the person. Because cop said it was a dick when he said it back to the person. And another cop corrects him, no, it was a dildo. Later on says, that's probably what happened, or something similar. Would have been handled differently. And he's probably calling to see what was going on. Why was the delay? Now, I would have had to tell him, hey, I didn't get him until, right when I put him on. But they went back a year and a half to find something to dig up that they could arrest me for. That's how bad they want to arrest people. For what? Like I said, this is the third time. I'm too old. I can't take this no more. This is not right. And something like this could happen to you or a loved one. But anyway, I just want to tell and stop hiding. Because it's not worth it. There's nothing for me to hide about or being ashamed. I got fucked. That's what I got. Yeah, I don't like swearing either. I really don't. I'm just very upset. I know unless it affects you. I mean, unless it personally affects you, your life, screw him, screw that. I don't care. It don't affect me. Nobody will get involved till it affects them. And then it's too late. When it affects you or a family member, it's too late to get involved. Research it. Someone lying about their age, someone with fake ID, they're old enough, you cannot use that as a defense. Or you think when they go online, they role play? Why do you think they do that? There's not people in there looking for kids. Now, I don't know about the kids sites, like the toy gaming site. I know nothing about that. If they're adults on there gaming for kids, yeah. But if they're an adult hookup site, nah. That's wrong, and it should be deemed entrapment. Because they got to say they're a certain age to get on there, and they're lying right there. But then again, they usually are telling the people they're like 15 and 14 and 13 and 12. But I can understand if they say, let's roll. I don't know. They say, let's role play. That's the only way I could see something like that happening as a mistake. I don't know. Factually, I don't know if that. I imagine that happens to some extent. But why is the police going on adult hookup sites and then changing, putting one age in their profile, get talking to somebody for a while, and then changing the age? It's not like the person was on a kid's site or that roadblocks that you hear a lot in the news, or whatever the hell it's called. But anyway, hopefully you do good and life treats you good. I really hope so. There is a short video of that doorbell incident. What happened with the doorbell, with the Ring doorbell, what was said. I'm not going to post that up here in this channel or not. I just wanted to let you know, provide some sex offender talk in case you're curious, one way or another. You know, how does it affect people? What does it do? Whatever. You know, if you're just looking into it because you know you're thinking of committing some crime, well, you can go to hell. These are the reasons for all this shit. Oh, I feel like, might as well walk me to the death chamber, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, this isn't about that. All right, hopefully maybe I help someone. Maybe somebody learns something, maybe not. Maybe you want to kill me worse. I don't know. Just because of a name that the government gave to me. Put all my information out public for years. Because I'm a perceived danger. Oh, it's not if they reoffend, it's when they reoffend. Look back. When did I reoffend? And by that, I'm saying, like, having, touching a kid, whatever. No. Like I said, them hookup apps and stuff, I haven't been on them for a long time. Never been on any of them ones where kids are the game playing. Never. Yeah, back in the day, I was on Craigslist. Even there, I don't ever really recall. Because that stands out to you if you know. I know on the adult side, I ran into it twice, and I'm pretty positive they were both police. Played along for a moment or two. And they asked me if I want a picture. To play along, sure, send me a picture. I said, what kind of picture? I said, whatever you want to send. I was going back, 5, 10, 15 years. This is not recently. This is when I was on them. Send me a picture. The profiles had one thing and all of a sudden they were another age. So maybe they do this stuff. I don't know. Or they try and get me to send me a picture. Well, one, I don't send them kind of pictures. They're hookup sites. So I have nothing to worry about there. And then after I'd say, well, send me whatever you want or you feel is appropriate. And then I would turn around and report that profile. So if it was a kid that was scared to say something, they got reported. If it was a police acting like a kid, it got reported. Twice is only something like that ever happened. So now all this BS, all because of a prank fake call. And I did try and call the sheriff's office. I really did. Called back and pressed option 9 for other and went beep, 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 beep. And then I went back and pressed option 7. I believe it was the human resource. I said, look, I need help. Somebody called me saying they were a deputy. I need help. Well, what do you want me to do? The honest to God's truth. And 40 minutes later, I have all these police cars here. Had I known it was an actual cop, I was trying to make sure it wasn't. Because, like I said, having the same last name as the sheriff, a detective, what's the chance of that? No, had I known it was an actual cop, I would have never said that. But even so, should they have did what they did because he got offended and upset? And now I'm done. Now my life's over. Because somebody got offended and upset. And it's right on the Ring doorbell. All right. Well, I only got one more hope, and that's all I got. I'm going to reach out to that person, and I'm just praying that person reaches out to somebody high up. He knows people, but if he don't reach out or can't, I don't blame him. I mean, very good gentleman. he knows and met a lot of people, and he's the only one that can help. That I pray can help me, can do something, especially after seeing this. You can search it. It is the truth. 3 times now been arrested. So look at the laws of Florida. Somebody presents fake ID, false ID. You cannot use misrepresentation of age as a defense. I should have come out and let people know about it. Maybe I could have helped people stay off the hit list. This needs to be known very widely. I don't care if they look like they're 20. Or 30. It don't matter. Be very careful. If you're one of them true pedos and perverts, fuck you. These are the ones that cause this bullshit. I'm sure I'm not the only one like this wrapped up in this. I guarantee you I'm not. Well, at least I got off them opioids for my back after that drunk driver had pulled out in front of me and found this other medicine. That's the only thing that helps for pain. Opioids don't. So don't get hooked on opioids either. All right.